as he already is known. Only time will tell. We're hopping into it. Laralac Crest is our final map. Steadfast, are you ready for this?
Oh, I am more than ready. Will MaSa defend his title as King of the North, or will Neeb get his first ever LAN victory?
And this is very important. They are fighting right now for $1,400. If you want to actually add to that prize pool, head on over to the Indiegogo page for Kings of the North. Add a little bit. We're sitting at $1,675 with just 2,000 Canadian dollars. We are going to be hitting a $500 increase to the prize pool. But ladies and gentlemen, let's do it. Spawning down here in our final game of the day, of the night, of the tournament, we have the blue Terran player from Team Elevate. Give it up for the Canadian MaSa.
Oh, and his opponent evening up the series in the previous game, spawning in the top right position of Laralac Crest. It is the Protoss player on Fire's Neeb.
And what a map to be starting this off on, because you know what? This is a map that, I think drop play can be pretty strong on this when you try to establish that third expansion. That can definitely be a thorn in your side, because if you try to establish that low ground in base third expansion, suddenly that drop from the main base to the third is not so easy to defend against.
Absolutely not. And if I can remind you of the previous series that Neeb and MaSa played, this is actually the map, and although the positions are different, their relative positions are the same.
Yep.
In which MaSa went for that crazy 2-base push with tanks, Marines, and 3 bunkers.
3 bunkers, yes. For those who missed it earlier on, MaSa went for what you might call the 2-base 1-1-1, except he had 5 barracks because, of course, 2-base, you can afford a little bit more. So the 5-1-1 is what I think we unofficially dubbed it here. And, of course, as you mentioned, protecting his siege tanks with the bunkers placed between the natural expansion and the third expansion. And I think that's just a great example of how difficult it can be to defend. And you know what? Does MaSa bust something like that out? Again, he did a sort of variation on it, I think, earlier in the series, but it really did not work.
No, not so much, getting shut down pretty well by Neeb. But, however, he did go for that big bioaggression on Central Protocol, and that was quite effective. However, we do see MaSa scouting in the right position with his SEV, which is really nice. Neeb scouting in the wrong direction is going to be able to see this command center, so that is nice.
I love actually the decision to keep that Reaper at home for a little bit longer as he waits for the SCV to actually get the full scout off on exactly what his opponent is going to be up to, and he actually picks off his opponent's probe. So really, you have to keep in mind, what did Neeb really see? Well, he knows that there's a Reaper, he knows that there is a command center, but he's not going to really be able to catch a whole lot else. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing that Adept push back that Reaper. The Reaper actually having a hard time getting into the main base, but I believe that the SAV really saw what he wanted to see. He saw the gateway timing, he saw the fact that the Cybernetics core was still coming on up, he saw the Nexus, and he saw that nothing crazy is coming out of Neeb just yet, but there is going to be a Stargate on the way.
Yeah, feeling so comfortable with that Stargate play. It's been there's been a lot of variance. Sometimes the Oracle has gotten quite a few kills, gotten a lot of utility, and sometimes it's gotten shut down really, really hard.
Yeah, very interestingly also, it doesn't even seem to be necessarily correlated with the fact that, sometimes the Stargate comes before the Mothership Core to get out that super fast Stargate. Sometimes it seems to come after that. Sometimes it gets scouted, sometimes it doesn't. And that's actually the especially weird thing. It doesn't seem to matter whether or not it gets scouted, because, for example, in the last game, it got scouted very early on as the Reaper actually doing some nice damage, killing off that probe, trying to build the third. But there were missile turrets down, and it still managed to find some really nice pickoffs on Marines and SCVs, delaying the third and just being generally annoying.
Absolutely. We do see MaSa going for these quick second racks, as well as quick starport and Widowmine, so we might be going for a Widowmine drop. Oh, nice pylon overcharge, but we do see that scouts the Oracle.
Yeah. But I mean, MaSa also again saw that third expansion trying to be taken. He didn't see the third expansion go down, but he saw the probe over there, and that is going to be a real big red flag to say, wait a second, I think you're trying to take it. He should have a big suspicion, if nothing else. So he's going to be going for this big bit of aggression, as the Widowmine is actually not going to be loading up into the drop. In fact, it's just going to be the Marines, but here comes that Oracle. And only seeing 4 Marines, I don't know if Neeb actually saw the medevac, because if he did, he would realize there was actually nothing else before those 4 Marines. He could have taken that fight very easily.
Yeah, he did miss that medevac just barely, but I think seeing those 4 Marines, he started the Phoenix right after that. Oh, but the Mothership Core being caught out of position right here.
Photon Overcharge thrown down on one of the pylons, but it's not the pylon protecting the 2 gateways, the 3 warp gates, the Cybernetics Core and the actual Stargate. Oh my god, this Phoenix is going to be very, very nice, but actually if these pylons get focus fire down, no, it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. He's going after probes.
I like that decision, deciding not to go after that pylon, but instead killing off 8 workers and some warping in units. Wow, that was a great drop for MaSa. Even going to be able to drop before the Phoenix can pick it off. Is he going to actually take down the Phoenix? No. Nice control from Neeb.
Yeah.
But some pretty big damage being done by MaSa.
Yeah, if Sim had finished up maybe even just 5 to 6 seconds late or earlier, you may have been able to take out that Phoenix as well, but not quite be able to do it. But he's going to continue to push across the map. Now, there is a Revelation thrown down on some of these Marines as well as that medevac, so of course, Neeb is going to be repositioning himself, getting ready to deal with this aggression.
This is actually a pretty scary push from MaSa. There are 2 Widow Mines and Stim, and Neeb recognizing that, evacuating the 3rd, but is going to lose quite a few probes. Actually, just 3 going down, but locking down the ramp might be able to take down this 3rd base.
Yeah, you have to remember there was, in fact, no Mothership Core alive because that earlier drop killed it off, and now this 3rd expansion is rapidly falling in health. The Mothership Core has been remade, but of course the blink is coming up, and I think that Neeb is sacrificing it. He's saying, you know what, I think I might just need to go for the 2nd wave of aggression. I think I might need to play this out as similar to how I did in one of those earlier games.
MaSa does stim up the ramp, but the pylon overcharge is going to push him away a little bit.
Another pylon does get Photon Overcharge. He's going to buy himself a lot of time over here. The Widow Mines are revelated, so it's going to be easy to pick these guys off if these Marines are not careful. Marines stimming on forward. Nice force field. Actually catches a decent chunk of these Marines as well.
That was a really nice force field, killing maybe 3 or 4 extra Marines as a result. We do see +1 weapons and combat shields about to finish for MaSa. Going to make this push so much scarier.
But this is light aggression from MaSa. This isn't even an all-in. This is almost a weird contain coming out from MaSa because he's had a 3rd expansion established behind this. He's getting out additional medevacs. He's getting up his concussive shells, his stim, combat shields is finished up, and his +1 weapons finishing up as well. And he's just getting a larger and larger lead. If Neeb cannot find a way to either break this and move across the map or establish the 3rd expansion safely, he's in a lot of trouble. And wow, establishing the forward 3rd. This is such a weird decision to me.
You felt like he couldn't move down that ramp, so I actually do kind of like it as a decision. Nice revelation on the majority of that army, but there is the part on the right side that's not revealed. Oh, this is going to be really tough to hold for Neeb.
Yeah, Neeb is going to be in a lot of trouble, but some nice force fields could actually trap this army in a little bit now. Of course, there are the medevac pickups available. But he's going on in with some of those Blink. Starker's going to be able to pick off one of the medevacs. A really nice pickup. Loses a sentry in exchange, though. But, of course, I think an important thing is that MaSa realizes, hey, wait a second, there is, in fact, an expansion over there. I saw some pylons. I have some sneaky suspicions that I might need to start dropping you pretty soon.
Absolutely, but once again, we see MaSa, his trademark, recognizing that observer, scanning for it. Very nice. If we look at the worker count, though, MaSa is once again ahead. Nice liberation zone.
Actually,
get picked off.
Really nice force fields, actually trapping in so much of that army. Does pick up a decent chunk of them, but just trapping this army in, making it harder and harder for MaSa to push on in. Neeb is establishing this 3rd. He's not mining from it yet, which is also, though, very, very important.
Yeah, this is such a stressful situation for both players. Their tournament is on the line. This is for all the marbles. And wow, looking actually like, nope, gonna cancel those shades. Meanwhile, at the natural, gonna cancel.
Denied. +1 armor that was already, I think, close to 75% done or something along those lines. Resonating Glaives is still gonna be finishing on up. But MaSa is continuing to pick away at Neeb. Now, Neeb has finally started mining over at that 3rd expansion. He still has 60 workers sitting in a pretty decent spot, but he has to defend this 3rd, and this is where it gets very, very tense. Liberator sieging up closer and closer, inching on forward. MaSa just saying, I want to get this game. You better be ready for me. But some nice force fields. Neeb is staying calm.
Neeb actually taking an army supply lead with those force fields. Oh, nice pickoff on the Oracle, but does get that last revelation.
Oh, so tense. More and more of these adepts are being warped in. This might prompt a big adept shade onto this army of MaSa that honestly doesn't look that big. If you take away the Liberators, I don't think that this army actually stands much of a chance against a really well-positioned army for Neeb. As long as Neeb is aware of that and he realizes this and treats it well, and he's actually doing a really nice job sniping off the Liberator without taking any of these Stalker losses, the army stims forward and actually going to have to heal back up.
That was really, really nice from Neeb.
But here we go. Adept Shades are moving on out. He may go for this. Blink is going to be off cooldown pretty soon. But no, he's actually doing a cancel. He may even just try and draw this army further back.
Yeah, this is a very good maneuver from Neeb. It's going to keep MaSa nervous about staying here too long. And he was doing this actually in the previous game, kept faking those to the same location. And once again, canceling them. Is this going to be the third time maybe where he actually goes for it? No. Behind this, he is going for a fleet beacon and an additional Stargate.
Yeah, Adept Shade's coming out once again, just continuously getting a scout out, and he might have actually seen the shimmer of that ghost coming on in. That's going to be a big game changer, but as you were saying, Fleet Beacon and Stargate also going to allow Neeb to much more easily break out of this and maybe start to put some counter pressure across the map. The ghosts are coming out in bigger and bigger numbers. Those are going to cause a lot of problems for the Adepts that really do need those shields to make this engagement work.
Speaking of problems, though, Neeb is going to have a really big upgrade disadvantage in the next little bit. +2/+2 is about to finish for Neeb. +2 weapons is done.
Personal cloaking coming up. There are a couple of observers out, but I think we've seen some games where, you know what, MaSa is not afraid to snipe those guys off and just abuse the heck out of cloak.
Oh, wow. Look at how many Adepts Neeb does have, but there's no way he can push into this. This is just like the number of liberation zones. Oh, and MaSa starting to actually inch forward. But Neeb is starting to get that Tempest Scout out. The first two on their way.
This is such a difficult position for Neeb, I feel, because the Tempests are going to be so important to push these Liberators back, because until he actually forces the Liberators away from that choke point, it's going to be so difficult for him to move through it, because he really cannot afford to. But oh, here we go. MaSa trying to split him off in two different directions. Force Steel's going down, though, and some big EMPs going down on a lot of this army. We may be seeing potential final engagement over here as the Liberators are getting taken out very, very quickly. MaSa actually dropping very rapidly in supply, though.
Yeah, this is actually a really tough fight to call. I think that it is still relatively even. Neeb picking away at those that Terran army with these Tempests, needs to fire down those Liberators.
Adepts canceling their shades, and oh my god, a massive EMP goes up on the entire army. Literally everything has lost their shields except for maybe 3 or 4 units. MaSa is starting to take the army supply lead. He is starting to push on through. Has MaSa done it? Is MaSa going to be crowned the King of the North here in Toronto, in his hometown?
It looks like he is just maybe going to be able to do that, pushing through, killing off the Protoss army. Just 3 Tempests remaining. That is not going to be enough to deal with all this stimmed bio.
He's taking a 4th expansion very, very aggressively. He's getting a nuclear missile. If Neeb doesn't leave this game, I think he's going to start being styled on. MaSa is saying that $1,400 is all mine for the taking right now.
And we are going to see the nuke getting dunked on.
Wow, 2-2 upgrades finished up for MaSa. He can even try and snipe off that observer. He snipes it off. The nuke does get canceled, but these ghosts are suddenly going to be completely undetected. Ghosts taking out the Tempest. This is a little bit of revenge for that all-arena game, I think.
Absolutely is.
GG! MaSa gonna be your crown champion for Kings of the North.
That was such a tense series, such a tense 7th game. Congratulations to MaSa. I am just so impressed with how he was able to win that.
Wow, just really, really impressive play throughout the entire tournament, and showing that it's not only just that solid macro play, it's not only just the continuous aggression, it's the weird mix-ins of different types of builds, just that massive diversity in that mind gaming that he can do against his opponent, getting in his opponent's head.
Absolutely, and he showed that throughout the entire series versus Neeb. Actually, throughout both series versus Neeb. He was doing crazy stuff in the first game of their winners bracket finals. He went for that proxy ghost strategy.
Yes. Oh my god, just so many. And you have to remember, yeah, it's going back to that first series where he did 3-1 Neeb in the winners finals, throwing out a wide diversity of the proxy ghost strategy. We had the really, really crazy Raven, Banshee, Siege Tank, bunker push coming in. He also had that really great macro game, of course, during this series. I mean, just a really big diversity, showing that, you know what, that's what you need to be a world-class champion, or at least a North American king.
Yes, a King of the North.
A King of the North, you might say. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be heading over to the winner's desk with MaSa to congratulate him on his big victory.
I'm over here with the new King in the North, MaSa. Come on. MaSa, you won the big prize. How does it feel right now?
Great. What else? What else, right? What else? Yeah.
Had to get that one tacky esports question in. Here to present the trophy to MaSa, we've got Drekken, the organizer of King of the North. Come on in.
All right, MaSa. Every tournament that we've run, from StarCraft to King of the North, 2014, now 2016, I'm here to present you with our ceremonial trophy for King of the North. Congratulations, everyone. We would like to thank you, MaSa, the new King of the North. And on behalf of ESChamp and everyone here, thank you for giving us such a great game to watch. And thank you to all the viewers who've come and supported this event, made it happen through Indiegogo, whether it's sharing it or watching the stream. It's been a great ride all weekend, and it's been absolutely fantastic event. So there's nothing more we could have asked for to have a great finals, great matches all weekend. A lot of great content in terms of whether it would be Jeopardy or even the mean tweets. But thank you, everybody, for just tuning in and being a part of this event here in Toronto. Give yourselves all a round of applause. And with that, let's celebrate. Come on. And with that, I think we'll call it good night.